Hi there guys, Vino here and welcome to this Vino Blunt production and welcome to this somewhat special OTGV. I say somewhat special because I'm actually out and about at the moment. The skies are very blue. I'm not in my home city right now. I'm in a different city. I've taken a bit of a train trip in order to get here. And as you can see, if I do this, hope you saw that. There is a CX just over the road, and basically that's the CX that I've come to. So I'm currently stuck where I am for another hour. I've already been here for 2.5 hours, maybe even longer than that, because the item I've taken down to that CX is currently in for testing and it can take 3 hours. Yes, 3 hours to test. And that is kind of ridiculous, but hey, it is what it is. It's currently 2:30ish, yeah, it's just gone 2:30, and it's going to be ready at 3:30. The reason I've come, and I apologise for the sounds, there are some bright tossers on bikes at the moment. I used to ride a bike. I'm just going to pause because there's an ambulance coming. That's going to be very bad in your ears. Sorry about that, guys, I didn't want an ambulance siren in your ears. That would not be pleasant. Hope whoever that ambulance is going to attend to is okay, or they pull through, or send them all the best wishes and all that. But yeah, the item's going to take 3 hours, but the reason I'm at this particular CX is because I'm guessing something from there. So I've gone down a bit of a rabbit hole over the last few days when it comes to 4K Blu-ray. So I sold almost all of my 4K collection 2 months back because there was a financial situation that happened, a household financial situation, I would call it. Basically, as a result of that, I sold my 4K collection to help the household get through that financial bump, so to speak. We're now past that bump, so to speak, and I'm starting to rebuild my 4K collection. Some of the things I sold was my Skywalker Saga 4K, the Solo Steelbook, the Rogue One Steelbook, Bruce Lee Golden Harvest, the Avengers set ended up going. What else did I have on 4K? Dawn of the Dead on 4K, the Hellraiser Quartet of Torment. All of those ended up going. I know there are some people out there that are going to sort of be quite upset or mad at that, so to speak. But I've said this and I'll say this time and time again. But collecting Blu-rays, DVDs is a luxury. It's not a necessity. No matter who you are, what walk of life you come from, it is not a fucking necessity. It really pisses me off when there are some people out there like, oh, I need this, I have to have this. No, you don't. And although it's nice to have those items, and yes, a lot of those items are out of print now, and they are expensive to re-buy if I were to re-buy them. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, luxury possessions come secondary to food and rent and just living, gas, electricity, whatever it may be, bus pass to get to work, if you need one of those, or travel pass, whatever you use, petrol if you drive a car, those things are much more important than some 4K box sets. Are they out of print? Fuck yeah, they're out of print, but sometimes you've got to do what you've got to do. So in a couple months' time, the long-awaited, long-anticipated 4K Nightmare on Elm Street collection is releasing here in the UK on the 27th of October, and I believe it's releasing in America on like the 23rd of September. I'm a bit angry, not angry, I'm being a bit melodramatic there, that the US get it earlier, but US tend to get things earlier, so it is what it is. I'm very, very thirsty. This is like my 4th drink. I've got like Coke, I've got a Red Bull right now. What else am I was going to say, what else have I eaten? What else have I drank? Coke, Fanta lemon. Yeah, all sorts of bits and bobs. That's a very warm draft from that bus. As you can tell, it's a very warm day, very nice blue sky warm day, so I am very warm. So today. So yeah, so the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K set, and I pre-ordered it because I've got a bit of money coming at the end of September, back to pay from work, and I'm basically using that against some of it against the Nightmare on Elm Street set, and I'll probably be rebuying the Quartet of Torment and the Dawn of the Dead set at the same time. Probably off the CX again, probably order those online again, but that's the plan. But because of that, and I don't know really, well, I do know why, but because I have been looking up what other people think of the Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street 4K set, steelbook set. There's also a non-steelbook set as well that goes for £100. The steelbook set is £200. So yeah, it's £100 more expensive for the steelbooks. Plus in the UK it's more expensive because we get the Blu-rays in there as well as the 4Ks, whereas the US just get the 4Ks. And the reason for that is a rep or a Warner Brothers staff member has said, because apparently when it comes to the UK, physical media is on the up in terms of sales and market share and all that stuff. So they're actually more inclined to put more into sets in the UK than they are in the US. For those of you who don't know, for years it was the US that was ahead, and they always got really nice sets. They got a lot more content than we did on the discs, so to speak. So I'm actually quite happy that things are turning, and now the UK ironically is the place where physical media is on the uptick. I apologise for the wind, guys. Wait for it to die down a little bit. But I'm over the moon that it switched that way, because maybe we'll start getting some really nice sets. I mean, the likes of Arrow Video and Second Sight. I know Arrow Video is British, I'm pretty damn certain that Second Sight is British. With those boutique labels, obviously Vinegar Syndrome is, are they Australian? No, Imprint is Australian. I don't know where Vinegar Syndrome comes from. I want to say that they're Australian too, but I don't know. Ironically, also a Power Region as well as UK. How ironic that Power Region boutique labels are the ones that are doing so well. But with all those boutique labels coming out with so much esoteric stuff, I guess people are buying it and lapping it up. And quite a lot of the stuff is releasing in America. Arrow Video actually have quite a good foothold in America. But because I've been looking up other people's opinions on the Nightmare on Elm Street set, YouTube has started suggesting to me some other people like Mid-Level Media, CHH Horror, so it's Christian Hannah Horror. I used to watch him back in the day actually. He's changed a fair amount from when I used to watch him back in the day. Yeah, Mid-Level Media. There was one that's called Dad Collects Blu-rays or something like that. He's actually got like 50,000 subscribers, so there's no shade when it comes to you know, when it comes to it. It's got a funny little name, and he does feature his kids on there, and his kids do heavily influence his buying decisions. So that's probably why it's called Dad Buys Blu-rays. I just find it funny, you know, such a cromulent name in a sense. Has 50,000 subscribers. But anyway, and because of this sent me down a further rabbit hole, and I found out that the PlayStation 5 doesn't support Dolby Vision. Also, the audio out of the PlayStation 5 isn't the best. I know this because I've dove deep into the settings on the PlayStation 5 and it still doesn't sound brilliant. But when I stream directly from my TV a movie, because I can have Sky Cinema and stream from there, so to speak, it sounds so much better. So what I'm going to be getting from that CX is a dedicated 4K Blu-ray player, which is the Panasonic UB820. I was going to go for the Sony UBP X800M2 or Mark II if you prefer, which is actually quite a cool name when you think of, like, you know, Iron Man, the Mark II suit and the Mark IIIC. But anyway, however, that only supports Dolby Vision. It doesn't support HDR. It does support HDR 10, not 10 plus. Now, the reason why that is so important is because I believe that HDR 10 plus, I don't know about HDR 10, it might be the same thing, is actually an open source variant of HDR. The reason why they did that is because when HDR first came out, it was licensed by a patented and, you know, copyright, you know, that kind of stuff. What you got to do? By a company. I think it was Sony. Now, for those of you who don't know, Sony, along with a bunch of other organisations and companies, made Blu-ray, basically. And when Blu-ray first came out, the license fee that Sony wanted per disc, because Sony they're the biggest shareholder in Blu-ray by far, they wanted a very big license fee, which is why whenever a format first comes out, DVD was not the case, and we'll get on to that in a moment, because Panasonic are actually the ones that came out with DVD. But Sony wanted a big fee. That's why 4Ks were so expensive when they first came out, because obviously it's Sony that come out with 4K Blu-rays. And basically Sony wanted a very big license fee for HDR. So a bunch of the companies got together, kind of said, screw you, Sony, and made their own format and made it open source, set everybody, their own standard, so everybody could use it. It then became the standard. So HDR 10 Plus became the standard. Dolby Vision, obviously, is a fork of HDR 10 Plus, and I believe also it is either open source, so you don't pay a license fee, or they don't charge an arm and a leg for their services for using Dolby Vision, which is probably more the case since more and more discs are using more and more discs are going Dolby Vision, the Dolby Vision route. That's why when 4Ks first came out, you didn't get many HDR titles. You only got 4K, you know, and no HDR. Excuse me. Because Sony, if it was Sony, I'm just going to say Sony for now, wanted a big license fee. So a bunch of them jumped together and went, nah. So basically, HDR 10 Plus, you'll find that a lot of discs have HDR 10 Plus because it's an open source format. They don't pay a license fee for it, so why not? So the Sony player I was going to get, the UBP X800M2, doesn't support HDR 10 Plus. It doesn't support a bunch of other video formats and audio formats. The Panasonic UB820 supports a lot of stuff. It supports every consumer grade codec and audio codec and whatever you want to call it you can think of, basically. Although the Sony does allow you to play SACDs and does support high fidelity audio, pardon me, the Panasonic supports a lot more, more HDRs, more audio codecs, support Dolby Atmos and Dolby Digital HD and all that good stuff. But it also lets you change things in the setting the biggest thing about the Panasonic Go, and this is the reason why so many people are buying it, because it's a very popular 4K Blu-ray player, is because it auto switches. So when you put in a disc that has HDR, it will switch to HDR. If it has HDR10 plus, it will switch to HDR10 plus. If it has Dolby Vision, it will switch to Dolby Vision. Not only that, you have the ability to still select it yourself if you wish to. Also, it tone maps your screen. Whatever kind of TV you got, it will tone map the content based upon that screen. So basically, to give you the blackest blacks and the whitest whites and all that kind of stuff, it will tone map the screen for you. I've had to trade in some extra stuff in order to get that, but hopefully it will be worth all this, because I've come, an hour-long train trip. I've been in this city for almost 3 hours, 4 hours almost, how long it's been now. I have a bunch of Blu-rays, 4Ks in my bag right now, that I've bought to test out this new player. Yeah, so yeah, it's hopefully it's all worth it. I really hope it's all worth it. I'm going to go for now. I have a strong feeling that my phone is almost dead, which isn't good because I needed to get back home. Might have to think of a way to charge it. Anyway, I will speak to you guys probably much later at this point, maybe when I've got the thing set up, when I've tested some of the discs and what have you. Yeah, catch you later, guys. Hi guys, Vino here. So it's currently past 9 o'clock. I'm going to say 9:15. I actually don't know what the time is right now. I didn't have a look at my phone before recording this video. I don't have my Apple Watch on right now because it's downstairs charging as we currently stand. So I came back from where I was at, came back home, and as I came back home, I had a realization that they didn't include the controller for the Blu-ray player, basically. So that was the first kind of oh shit moment. I've managed to find one off Amazon Universal Remote that is saying it's going to work with everything. So hopefully that can work with that, and I can get that working, and all that would be good. I then decided to connect up the Blu-ray player because my TV remote, which is a Sky Glass TV remote or a Sky Stream TV remote, you can actually program it to work with some devices. It worked rudimentary, but it would have worked enough for me to, play around with it and see what's going on. So I leant the TV forward to plug in HDMI lead. Excuse me. So the Panasonic DP UB820 is 820. I keep thinking it's 850. No, it's a 450 is the other one. 820 supports EARC. So the second HDMI port on the UB820 is simply for audio, and it supports EARC, and the TV supports EARC. So what you can actually do is you can connect up the EARC in the TV and then the video to video, and basically you can have much better quality audio coming out of it. So I had to look which one was the EARC jack on the back. So I let the TV all the way down, plugged in both the cords, and then lifted the TV back up, only to find a crack in the left-hand side of the screen. The TV's fucked, basically, long story short. Now, I will say it's not the end of the world because we have a replacement coming on Tuesday because I had the foresight to get Sky Protect. However, before I make the Sky Protect claim, I actually went ahead and took this opportunity to upgrade to the next Sky Glass iteration, which is Sky Glass Gen 2, which actually does increase some of the features over the original Sky Glass, such as it has local dimming rather than global dimming. The speakers for the Dolby Atmos are a lot more powerful and better, and they have better sound, produce better sound. The algorithm that sort of changes the picture as you're watching it, that's much better. There are various features that the Gen 2 gives you over and above the Gen 1. And you know what? I've just bought a very expensive, for what it is, Blu-ray player. Let's not try and get the best I can out of the TV. That's coming on Thursday. So tomorrow, going to have the universal remote arrive. Tuesday, the replacement TV arrive. And then Thursday, the new TV will arrive. And we're going to stick the old TV in the front room so we can watch 4K in the front room now, which actually would be pretty cool to be able to watch 4K in the front room. Yeah, so bit of a shitty day in some respects. Did not go as planned. But hey, all's well that ends well. It's annoying that I'm not going to be able to play around with my Blu-ray player until Tuesday when I get the replacement TV and get that all set up. That's how it is as it stands at the moment. I'm trying not to be too down about it because obviously it has been resolved. You know, I'm getting a replacement TV on Tuesday and I'm off from Monday to Thursday, you know, thanks to my manager. I messaged them. So, you know, things are going to be fixed. It's just today was a bit of a bummer, obviously for various reasons. But it is what it is at the end of the day. And yeah, I am actually quite down about it because I was really, the reason I went to where I went to today to get that Blu-ray player is to play with it today, to play with it and get to grips with it and all that good stuff. But unfortunately, that was not to be. I will insert a clip later on of what the TV looks like currently. It's not good. And we'll go from there. Does mean I'm not going to be playing my PlayStation for a couple of days. Hey, as I said earlier, when it comes to Blu-rays and stuff, you know, gaming's a luxury. And to be honest, I've still got the Steam Deck. I've still got my computer. So, you know, I'm not going to moan about it. I'll say too much at all, really. It'd be stupid to really moan about that, if I'm being completely honest with you. Yeah, got some 4K goodness from where I went today. Got Nightmare on Elm Street 4K, the Mad Max quadrilogy on 4K. So it includes the first, the second, the third Mad Max, and then Mad Max Fury Road. Doesn't contain Furiosa because that particular set came out before Furiosa came out. But I'll probably pick up Furiosa at some point. I also picked up Lord of the Rings on 4K as well, because I know that's a bit of a reference disc for a lot of people, that they show off their setup and what 4K can really do with that disc. So I've got that disc, those as well. I think that's it in terms of 4Ks. And then I also got a keyboard and a mouse for my Steam Deck, because I've just sold both of my laptops. So I can basically almost use my Steam Deck as a pseudo laptop, if you will. where it's got a dock for it and everything. And actually, in the spare room, we've got a 720p. It's a TV, but we use it as a monitor. Or is it a monitor? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. 720p, but if I ever wanted to, I could hook the Steam Deck up to that and have a little mini setup, which would actually be quite good, to be honest, because on the dock for the Steam Deck is 2 USB sockets, so that could actually be a pretty good idea to do that, and then, yeah, go from there, to be honest. And I got my Switch 2. I forgot about my Switch 2. Got my Switch 2 as well. So, yeah, I'm sorted when it comes to stuff. I might be popping down CX tomorrow because today was more expensive than I anticipated it to be. But it is what it is at the end of the day. I will keep you guys updated with everything that goes on. Take care for now. So hi there guys, as promised, here's a look at the damage to the TV. Now the funny thing with it is, this is actually better than it was. It was slightly better a couple of hours ago. I've been up for a couple of hours now and it's gotten a bit worse, but this is better than it was when it first happened. So essentially what I did is I tilted the screen forward, and you can see by the area just over there that it obviously leant against my PS5 there, and it's, well, it looks like it's cracked, but what has actually happened is I think I've broken the crystals in the LCD display. So LCD obviously stands for liquid crystal display, and I think what I've done there is I've broken the actual crystals, because you can do that, believe it or not, because the actual outside is not cracked. There's no dent, there's no scratch, there's no divot, there's nothing. So I think I've actually broken what's behind the sort of the screen, so to speak, or I think it's the diffuser, whatever it is on the outside. But I've actually not damaged that. I've damaged the inside, so to speak. When it first happened though, the entire picture went red, and it looked like blood was dripping from the top down. If I could have gotten a shot, I would have. But yeah, so this is actually better than it was, but not as good as it was about 2 hours ago. When I first turned on the telly for today, this black area here on the side wasn't there. And the screen was actually watchable. These lines were here, but as you were watching content, they sort of blended in to the video or whatever you were watching, so they weren't actually that distracting. And I was actually watching some YouTube for a little bit, but then as time went on, you can see that it's got this like ghosting effect almost across the screen, and you can clearly see these lines, and you can clearly see what's going on there. Obviously, as the screen changes in the background, because it's like a screensaver, if you will, you can see that different images, it reacts differently. So the content, that one looks really bad. The red looks really off in terms of the colour. And there, that just looks like it's a sepia tone almost, or an ultraviolet shot. That doesn't look too bad, to be honest. And the content I was watching was relatively dark for most of it. So obviously it sort of blended in, but obviously with that black part of the side there, it's unfortunately now probably unwatchable. But I do, as I said earlier, have a replacement arriving tomorrow. The upgrade to this, which is the Gen 2, is arriving on Thursday. But as promised, I thought I would give you a bit of a look at this. The really funny thing with it is the Sky Glass TV in the hi-fi world, if you will, is shat upon, to be honest. From a very great height, from a lot of hi-fi enthusiasts, it is absolutely shat upon. Now, the TV itself does have a lot of issues. I'm not going to beat around the bush on that one. I actually think that if you don't know a bit about how computers work, because this is essentially a computer. It's just a computer, well, an all-in-one computer with a very, very big monitor on it, a 43-inch monitor. Sort of think of it like that, if you will. So if you know how computers work, you can sort of troubleshoot your way through whatever it does. But if you're just an ordinary consumer that doesn't necessarily know how computers work, then you're not going to know, and this is going to frustrate the hell out of you. It still frustrates the hell out of me. Now, one of the reasons I think it's shat upon from a very high place... Sorry about that, need to sneeze. There's another one coming. My apologies, hang on. My apologies for that. So the reason why this TV is not well received from the hi-fi community is A, its price to performance ratio doesn't match, and to be honest, it doesn't perform the way they expect to perform. Now, what I mean by the hi-fi audience is, you know, audiophiles and cinephiles and, you know, people that want the best of the best. They think this is slightly overpriced for what you get. I don't think that at all. I think you actually get quite a good bang for your buck, to be honest. And because of all the technical issues this display has, obviously they really do shit upon this. And I know this because I've watched a few reviews on this one, the Sky Glass Air, which they've recently brought out, and the Sky Glass Gen 2, and a lot of reviewers or people on video on these displays have all said that the comment section has been interesting, would be one way of putting it. But then you can't please everybody, and I'm not being funny, but when it comes to that particular crowd, the hi-fi crowd, they are never satiated, they are never satisfied, and they seem to have a real big issue with, you know, consumer grade stuff. Anyway, as I said, I showed you the damage now, but it will be fixed, so to speak, in the next few days because this is being taken away. Speak to you later, guys. Hi there, guys. So it's currently 5 to 6 a.m. on Tuesday the 19th of August 2025. My apologies for my demeanour. I am deliriously tired right now. I don't know where to begin. Yeah, I'm knackered right now. So today hasn't gone to plan as much as I thought it would. So first of all, I had to go down to my city centre and sell my drone, my DJI Mini 3. Don't really have to go into that too much. I'm probably going down tomorrow and selling something else. More on that in a moment. The universal remote arrived, the one for all universal remote arrived. It doesn't work with the Panasonic UB820. So I've had to order another remote off of eBay that's arriving later today. And hopefully that will work. And I can use the 4K Blu-ray player. However, I've gone down a bit of a rabbit hole when it comes to hi-fi equipment. And I'm probably, hopefully once everything arrives later on today, I'm going to be going down to Curry's and picking up a Dolby Atmos surround sound system, because that Blu-ray player, the new one I got, the Panasonic DMP, I think it actually is, UB820, if you want its full name. Anyway, has a audio out or a EARC out, to get the most out of Dolby Atmos, you need to use that. So I'm getting a dedicated sound system that has EARC in, and I'll be going down and grabbing that tomorrow from Curry's. Probably going to sell my HOTAS down there to fund that. And once everything is set up, that is fucking it for a while. Yeah, so that's the plan as it currently stands. Hopefully everything arrives in time tomorrow and I can pop down to Curry's, which is an electronics store here in the UK, by the way, and then pick up the hi-fi system. I'll probably take down the HOTAS on Wednesday. I've actually got to go back to work on Thursday. So I've got Monday, got today off, and then Wednesday off. Got to go back Thursday, Friday, and then it's a 3-day weekend next weekend anyway, because the Monday's a bank holiday, and the week after I'm off. So all is good, all is good. So yeah, that's the plan. And the particular surround sound I'm getting has like a wireless subwoofer, wireless rear speakers, a sound bar. I'm actually really looking forward to having it all set up. I came downstairs because I was hungry. Shout out to Tesco's ham and smoked ham and tortured. It actually wasn't that good. It was actually rather bland, I'm going to be honest. There's one I get from the co-op quite often, which is far better than that, to be honest. But it filled a hole. I'm actually feeling quite a bit better now. Got some Coke. Over there is actually looking quite bare at the moment. And I'm watching some YouTube on my PC. I say PC, laptop. At the moment, yeah. So I'm probably going to clear up this room tomorrow while I'm waiting for things to arrive, because obviously I'm not going to have much else to do while I wait for things to arrive. And then I'll probably just pop down the bank and put the money in, transfer some to my housemate, and then click and collect the surround sound system. Hoodruma flim of a bog. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I have planned for later on. I'm knackered. I'm absolutely knackered. I worked out by looking at my phone that I walked like 3 or 4 miles on Sunday, and yesterday I walked for a mile or 2 as well. I've been very active the last few days. It's good for me, exercise is good, but obviously I'm knackered, absolutely shattered. And I only had about 3 or 4 hours sleep Sunday to Monday, and I am actually currently been up for 20 hours as it currently stands. So probably why I'm so tired at the moment. Anyway, I'm probably going to go and get some rest. At the very least, lay down for a bit, get some rest, watch some YouTube or something on my phone, and then I'll probably speak to you guys later on. Hi guys, so it's just gone 2 p.m. on Tuesday the 19th of August 2025. Today has been, yeah, I don't know really what to say, to be honest. So I've, again, barely slept. I think I finally fell asleep at like 5-6 o'clock in the morning, and I was up and awake at 10 o'clock, I think it was, because I was expecting something to arrive. That thing has arrived, which is the replacement TV. That was a complete clusterfuck. The delivery people were here for an hour trying to get that sorted. I'm not going to go through all the ins and outs of what they had to do, but you know, the fact they were here for an hour tells you that there were some complications, shall we say, with that delivery. I've gone ahead and put the money into the bank and then clicked to be collected, I should say, reserved the surround sound system. I'm going to be picking up. Really excited to go and get that. Now I'm just waiting in, a bit of a reprieve in a sense at the moment. I'm just waiting in now for the other universal controller and a keyboard and mouse combo to be delivered. Once that arrives, I'll be going down to Curry's and picking up this, you know, surround sound system doodad hoodiggy babadooda. At some point, I'm going to be taking down my HOTAS to sell. I might even see if I could sell it to Amazon. That might be an idea. But I'm just sat here enjoying a bit of a drink. What I was going on today is tomorrow is going to be a bit more of a relaxing day. Today's going to be a recuperation day because I'm going to need it, to be honest, with you. After everything I've done for the last few days, I'm going to need a bit of rest and recuperation, and then back to work Thursday, Friday, and then a long weekend, and then 4-day week next week, and I'm off the week after. Yeah, I've just come back from the shop, put the money in the bank, got some bits and bobs. Now it's time to relax for a bit. Hi guys, so it's currently just gone 12:15 on Wednesday the 20th of August 2025. So I ended up going back out yesterday, as I said I would, and got the surround sound set up. The sound bar for it is literally just there. This room is going to be cleaned and tidied up, and that area over there is going to get some special TLC. But the subwoofer is just down behind me. We've got two of the rear speakers are also down there, as well as the accessories box, as they call it. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new TV arriving tomorrow. The replacement TV is in the front room now, so we've now got a 4K TV in the front room, which is pretty sweet, if you ask me. I also had the realization last night, because this is going to take a little bit of explaining. So in the back of the Sky Glass TV, there are 3 HDMI ports, one of which is an eARC port, and that is important to note. So I have a PlayStation 5, Switch 2, and of course the Panasonic UB820 now. So I need all 3 of those ports, ideally. Now, the UB40, I keep calling it the UB40, A, because of the band UB40, but also because there's a very similar Panasonic 4K player, which is the UB450, which is actually a lower tier version of the UB820, but some people are saying it's just a revised version of the UB820, and there's a lot of people actually prefer the 450. I think it does have not as many features as the 820, and I keep going to call it the 450 because I was actually doing quite a bit of research into the 450 before I decided to go for the 820. So that's why I keep going UB4, because I keep going to say UB450. No, that's the UB820. Anyway, the UB820 does have a separate audio out that goes to eARC. The soundbar has obviously an eARC port on it. And I was trying to work out a way that I could still use the soundbar through the TV itself. If I want to play PlayStation in surround sound or whatever it may be, or watch something in surround sound stream something from the TV. And then I realised there was optical out on the UB820 and optical in on the soundbar, which is just there. So, no, not the 820. I meant the actual TV itself. The Sky Glass TV itself has optical out. And I can optical out to optical in on the soundbar and just switch the channels between eARC and optical, and I'll be able to use it with both. So I managed to get that all sussed out. I will be popping down to CX again today to sell my HOTAS because I need the money for several reasons why I now need the money. It's not just because I've just gone ahead and bought a surround sound kit. It's also because yesterday I had 3 fraudulent transactions taken from my bank account. One was because of a universal remote that I did download over the weekend, and it sort of shadow charged me for some money. That's being sorted via Apple. But yeah, there was a couple of fraudulent transactions on my bank account, so I've had to contact my bank to obviously raise a claim and get those cancelled. So I've had to freeze my card, and they've also cancelled my card. I went from, and I don't mind saying this at the moment, from about £30-40 in the bank yesterday to now having £3 in the bank right now. So I don't have any money right now, basically. So I need to go down, sell the HOTAS, get the money, and then come back, give this room a good tidy, and go from there. I'm still shattered. I've still gotten maybe 3-4 hours sleep, if that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I've been very productive over the last few days, and it's a good productive. I feel good, but I'm very tired. I've done a lot over the last few days. I really don't want to have to go down to see it today. I was hoping today would be a bit more of a relaxed day, but unfortunately, with the fraudulent transactions happening yesterday, me literally having no money right now, more or less, I have to. I literally don't have any money, so I've got to go down and get that sorted, and get some money, basically. But I'm just waiting for my phone and Apple Watch to charge. Had a bit of food, some leftovers Chinese. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to when I finish work tomorrow to put everything in situ and just play around with the new setup, watch a movie or something. That's the plan. That's the plan as it currently stands. I'll probably end up ending this OTGV tonight, and then getting it edited and uploaded for tonight. And then when I've got everything set up, I'll start a new OTGV. That's the plan, anyway, because this one has been going on for a little while now. It's getting long, I know that. Oh, I have a Linus Tech Tips screwdriver now. That's actually something I keep forgetting to mention. I don't want to move. I don't want to move right now, but it's down there. I'll grab it later on and show it on camera. But for now, I'm going to relax a bit more, watch some videos. I was going to say YouTube. I'm actually watching some float plane at the moment. I'm watching the behind the scenes on the recent scrap yard wars for Linus Tech Tips on there. So I'm going to go back to watching that, and we'll go for them. I'm actually looking around to see if there's anything I can trade in, like a game or something I can trade in to get me some money to buy a drink or to buy some food while I'm waiting for them to test the HOTAS. Anyway, I'll check back with you later, guys. Hi guys. So it's currently about like 4:30 in the morning on Friday, whatever the date is. My watch is not working right now, and I forgot to check the time and the date before I started recording this video. I've just recorded OTGV and uploading it now, just to give people a stopgap and a bit of a preview of what this OTGV is going to entail. So yeah, it's about 4:30 in the morning, give or take. Friday the date. Friday the date. I could probably work it out, because next Friday is the 29th, 9th, which means this has to be the 22nd. There you go, I worked it out. 2 moments. Sorry about that, guys. So, yesterday at work was kind of boring because none of our systems worked. So, I didn't do too much at work yesterday other than reset my laptop several times and did a bit of work. But I actually ended up leaving work at 4 o'clock. I'd normally leave at 6 because I was absolutely shattered. Absolutely shattered. The new TV arrived yesterday. It's in situ. The whole setup is now in place, and I'll give you a bit of a video of that in a bit, because I'm about to go downstairs and grab something to eat. I've got a cheese and ham sandwich in the fridge because I'm starving right now, and we'll get into why that's the case in a moment. Where was I? My brain's all over the place, by the way, because I am still shattered, to be honest. I was not as shattered as I was. I'm very hungry and tired. So I've barely slept for the last 5 days, and I've done a lot, as you guys know, as you've seen in these videos, as I've been saying, in these segments, as I've been saying. So I finished work at 4 o'clock, played around with the setup. I didn't watch any, but I tested out Tremors, Lord of the Rings, Mad Max, Darkest Hour, tried out a bunch of 4K Blu-rays, tried out some standard Blu-rays, tried out some DVDs. I'm very happy with the setup. And then about 6 o'clock-ish, I took myself up here to lay down for a little bit. And the next thing I know, it's about 3 in the morning. I absolutely zonked for 7 to 8 hours, which doesn't surprise me because, as I said, I have barely slept over the last 4 or 5 days. And I've been doing quite a bit, to be honest, for me. So I'm not surprised that I absolutely zonked. And that's why I'm hungry, because I didn't eat much yesterday. So I'm going to go downstairs in a moment. I'm going to go and grab the sandwich in the fridge, wait for the shop. I don't know why I'm looking at my watch. It's not working right now. He's charging. And then I'm going to pop to the shops when they open, probably grab an energy drink and 2 moments. Maybe not 2 moments. Yeah, if you heard that, I did just fart. I was hoping to pause the video beforehand. Pardon me, I apologise. That's what humans do. Anyway, yeah, wait for the shop to open, gonna grab an energy drink and probably some coffee because I ran out of coffee yesterday. I needed to get some caffeine in me yesterday, and so I would have made myself a coffee, and then I ran out of coffee beans. So that's on the docket today, sort of thing. Also, I'm very, 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 very strongly considering selling my Steam Deck. I don't really use it, to be honest, and there's a couple of box sets and stuff that I want at CX. Surprise, surprise. There's a Star Trek box set that I want. It's 1 to 10. It's a collector's box set, but each of the discs are picture discs. And I really like the idea of picture discs. Yeah, that's what I'm probably going to get from that store. And then I may order the Universal Monsters 4K Volume 1 and Volume 2 sets off of their website. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Obviously, this weekend is a 3-day weekend. I am very much looking forward to that 3-day weekend, which is weird to say because I've literally just had 3 days off work or 5 days into the weekend, but I'm still looking forward to this 3 days off to recuperate because I am absolutely, shattered.
don't know if I told you, sold my HOTAS to CX. That's gone. Had some fraudulent payments come out of my bank account. They've now been refunded by the bank because obviously I've reported them, but that was a whole thing. So I actually had to go down to, I think I've explained this in a previous segment, but I had to go down and sell that HOTAS because I literally didn't have any money while I was waiting for CX to test the object. Is when my bank decided to refund me the money. It's a temporary refund. Don't know what they mean by that while they investigate the matter. But I'm actually going to check my bank in a moment because I might have a couple of refunds waiting there for me. One from Apple and one from Sky, ironically. So I'll have a look and hopefully I've got those refunds. That'll be cool to have those refunds. Anyway, as I said, I am starving. So I'll be back once I've gotten some food.
So hi there guys, this is the setup now. So you've got the Skyglass Gen 2, we've got the Hisense soundbar there, the subwoofer is just down there, we've got my PlayStation 5 there, the Switch 2 dock there, and we've got the Panasonic UB40 just there, and then the surround sound speakers, Bray ones, are just behind me. But this setup is a lot cleaner. Apologise for my boot down there, but this setup is a lot cleaner than it was before. But this thing works fantastically. That thing is a game changer, and I'm very happy with it. You can see I'm watching a review. I thought it was going to be on the UB820, it's actually on the 450, which is the lesser cousin of the 820, if you will. But yeah, this is the setup now, and I'm very, very happy with this setup. But with that, I'm actually going to sign off of this OTGV. It's gone on long enough. Going to sign off, get it edited and uploaded, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.